Now at 8, breaking news, 15 people are shot at an East End nightclub. At least one of them has died. 9 on Your Side has live team coverage of the ongoing investigation as police just begin to try and figure out who is responsible.
Breaking news on 9 on Your Side.
And good morning, Tri-State. I'm Tamika Artist. We are constantly getting new information by the minute on that shooting at Cameo nightclub. Here is the very latest of what we know. 15 people were shot. One of them has died. This all happened around 1 o'clock at the nightclub on Kellogg Avenue in the city's East End. This is right by Lunken Airfield. Police are still searching for at least one shooter at this time. Reporter Kristen Swilley is just feet away from that crime scene. Allie Kramer is at the University of Cincinnati Medical Center where several of those victims have been taken. Our coverage starts, though, in the East End with Kristen Swilley, who is live with the very latest from police. Kristen?
Right now, the big questions out here this morning, Tamika, who is behind this? At least one person that we know of, and why did this whole thing happen? Still two very big questions. Investigators are working to answer this morning. They've been down here on scene on Kellogg Avenue, as you said, not too far from Lunken Airfield, since around 2 this morning, and we're still working to learn what they've learned at this point. They do tell us they're having a little bit of difficulty getting more information for some of the people who were out here. Obviously, a lot of chaos with having to get 14 separate people to 5 different area hospitals. Some people self-transporting, driving themselves to these different area hospitals. Earlier this morning, we spoke with Captain Kimberly Davis with District 2. She told us that witness participation is critical.
If anyone was a witness to anything that happened, obviously we need you to come forward with any information that you have, anything that can help us identify the suspect involved in this incident. As far as parents, just be mindful of where your young people are in the evenings. I know 18 and 19, they're technically adults, but just keep in mind that we still need to keep an eye on our young people and make sure that they are aware of their surroundings and make sure that they're not in places that they can be harmed and become victims.
Any leads you can pass on in this investigation?
At this point, we don't have anything to go on as far as any description, but we are working on that, and as soon as we have a description or information on the suspect, we will get that out to you.
You said there was an exchange of gunfire, multiple shots, multiple shooters, more than one person firing?
We're sure there was more than one. I'm not sure if there was more than 2 at this point.
Working security cameras in or outside of the club?
We're following up on that at this time, whether or not they were working.
Obviously, a lot of witnesses. Are they cooperating with the police?
The biggest problem when you have a large crowd like this and the shots ring out, a lot of the witnesses disappear. So people who have left the scene, who maybe know something, saw something, just please contact Criminal Investigation Section, Crime Stoppers, with whatever information that you have. That would be greatly appreciated. We need all the help that we can get.
But do you have any witnesses?
We do have a couple of witnesses, yes. Mm-hmm.
And then that was Captain Williams with District 2, of course. Now they are warning us that this portion of Kellogg may remain closed till at least 9 or 10 a.m. as that crime scene remains taped off and this area remains closed off to the general public. Reporting live in the East End this morning, Kristen Swilley, 9 on Your Side.
All right, Kristen, thank you so much. In the meantime, 9 on Your Side reporter Allie Kramer continues our live team coverage. She joins us now from UC Medical Center, where 8 of those victims were taken this morning. Allie, what can you tell us?
And Tamika, just moments ago, I talked to a hospital spokeswoman, and she has given me an update on those 8 victims. 4 are in stable condition, 3 serious condition, and 1 in critical condition right now. And it's understandable that all of those people were brought here to UC because UC is the only level 1 trauma center here in the area. We also know 2 people were taken to Christ Hospital. They are in stable condition with minor injuries. The other 5 victims, the other 4 or so victims taken to Bethesda North, Mercy Anderson, and Mercy West hospitals. And as Kristen mentioned, it sounds like some of the victims drove themselves or had other friends from that club drive them to area hospitals. You can understand this sheer number of ambulances that are required. And I actually live down kind of on that end of town, and I remember hearing in the middle of the night just that rush of sirens, police and ambulances. It would stop for a second and then start up again for another minute. So understandable how overwhelmed they were at the time. I went inside the emergency room room. It's a typical Saturday night. With the addition of these 8 victims, the entire waiting room was packed full, some of those people spilling out. And we've seen some groups of people leaving the hospital this morning in that emergency room, so hopefully able to get some updates on their friends and family. It's also understanding that Cincinnati police are back there because while they say they have a couple witnesses, certainly some of their witnesses are being treated at area hospitals right now. So very important to get that information from those who are in stable condition right now and who are able to communicate with the police officers here on the scene. So again, very quiet live outside the emergency room here at UC Medical Center, but we're going to continue to stay on scene here waiting for that latest update from any information from the hospital on their conditions. For now, we'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Allie. Thank you so much for that. I also noticed that Kristen had mentioned, that Captain Williams had mentioned that to keep an eye on your young people. She mentioned people as young as 17 and 18 years of age who are technically still adults. We know that this was also an underage nightclub. They were having an underage night there on Saturday evening. Has the hospital told you anything about the ages of these victims, possibly? Anything at all?
They have not released ages. We don't know any information about male versus female. We don't know how seriously injured that one individual is, but we know one person in critical condition, and we haven't heard of any other additional victims coming in yet, so that's important. We were waiting to see if that number might grow or that number might change, but right now, no additional victims being brought to UC Medical Center.
All right, Allie, thank you so much for that information. In the meantime, just minutes ago, Governor John Kasich tweeted, "Saddened to learn about last night's shooting in Cincinnati. Our prayers are with the victims and the families of all of those involved. I've instructed our administration to offer any assistance the state can provide." Well, Dan Carroll is live now in Chopper 9, the only local helicopter bringing you breaking news first. Again, here is the very latest on what we know. 15 people shot. One of them has died. I want to send it on over now to Dan Carroll.
All right, Tamika, we are getting our first look at the Cameo nightclub from Chopper 9 in the wake of the events of earlier this morning. And I'll just sort of give you a thumbnail of what we're seeing right here. We have some, obviously, some police vehicles there in the parking lot. One police officer with a raincoat on standing under the awning to the front entrance of the club. As I look outside, I do not see what we see typical at a lot of shooting scenes, and those are the evidence markers. You see those in a lot of different scenes. You can see them on the ground where they usually indicate where there's different pieces of evidence, different sometimes shell casings left behind. We are not seeing any of those, at least at our first initial look, here at the outside of the club. So that would indicate to me that all the shooting took place inside the club. So it doesn't look like any of that happened outside here in the club. You can see the crime scene tape up around the perimeter of the parking lot and all the police vehicles in the parking lot. Now, if you have to come down Kellogg Avenue a little bit later today, Kellogg Avenue is completely shut down. I'm going to move the camera all the way up here. This is where Salem Avenue comes into Kellogg. They've got that closed. So there's a car turning around right there. No traffic getting by over there at Salem. And I haven't looked over here to the west yet, but I would imagine, I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera around. I would imagine they have it blocked. This is Wilmer Avenue that takes you right past the airport. And let's see, I don't think they're going to allow traffic to maybe come down a little bit further here on this part of Kellogg from Wilmer. Yeah, so that's where they've got it blocked off. Just about a block there going east from Wilmer. So essentially, Kellogg Avenue shut down between Wilmer and Salem as they go ahead and continue their police investigation. So here's another look at the nightclub. Don't see a lot of evidence markers on the outside. Of course, we're just getting our first look at it, and we'll be looking closely as we continue here on 9 on Your Side to see if there's anything additional we can bring you. But you can imagine still a lot of activity on the inside of the club as police continue their investigation. That's the latest from here. I'm Dan Carroll in Chopper 9.
All right, Dan, thank you so much again. Here is the very latest on what we know about this mass shooting. 15 people shot. One of them has died. This all happened around 1:30 this morning at the nightclub on Kellogg Avenue in the East End. It is called Cameo Nightclub right near Lunken Airfield. Police are still searching for at least one shooter at this hour. Right now, as Dan Carroll just mentioned, there parts of Kellogg Avenue are closed because of that shooting. I know that there are actually a couple of churches in that area. St. Stephen Church is not far from there. 9 First Warning meteorologist Jason Adams is checking out the traffic in that area. Jason, what can you tell us about any detours that you know about?
Yeah, so the detours are going to be important this morning because like Dan had showed you, and he briefly filled us in, that Kellogg is completely shut down right now. So I built this traffic map for you to kind of give you a better idea of what roads you could take to avoid Kellogg if you have to go north or south around that area. So let's get this full screen so you can see a little bit easier. When you're coming in from Cincinnati along Columbia Parkway, you'll exit to Beachmont, and then you'll take Beachmont south to where you'll exit to Sutton. So here we are coming in from Columbia, and then we're coming down Beachmont, and then here's Sutton Avenue, and then you exit over towards Salem, and then that will take you back over to Kellogg to get south around there. If, of course, you're coming in north, you're trying to get into Cincinnati from that area, just reverse these roads. Go to Salem, to Sutton, to Beachmont, then to Columbia Parkway, and then head west over towards downtown Cincinnati because, again, this may be shut down at the earliest till 9, but it could even be extended later into the day. Now let's talk about your forecast because we are looking at some scattered rain out there as well. Now this area of rain was much more widespread a little while ago, especially in southeast Indiana and parts of northern Kentucky, but we're seeing this band of rain slowly beginning to shift off towards the north and east. So umbrellas certainly required this morning, but it's not just this morning that we'll need them. You'll also need them this afternoon because we are anticipating more showers and a few thunderstorms to redevelop. So right now we're sitting at 57 with likely rain chances. We've got a few showers in the forecast around noon with a temperature at 63. We'll see your high today up to 67. And again, your 9 first warning for this afternoon is not only will we see rain redeveloping, but we could even hear a few rumbles of thunder out there. So keep that in mind for any of the outdoor plans that you have. Good news, I'm not seeing severe weather in the forecast today. Bad news, we could see it tomorrow. And that's your 9 first warning, and I'll have more on that coming up in your forecast ahead.
Jason, thank you so much. Again, 9 on your side is going to stay on top of this. Breaking news for you. 15 people shot at an East End nightclub. At least one person is dead. Continuing live team coverage as we continue right after the break.
Good morning, Tri-State. I'm Chris Riva.
I'm Catherine Nero. It's 4:27 right now. We have breaking news from overnight. About 15 workers have been sent to the hospital because of a hazmat incident near Dayton. Our partners at WHIO say that the all-service plastic molding plant in Vandalia was evacuated overnight.
That's right. So many people had some breathing problems, some headaches, maybe even some eye injuries as well. They're not considered to be life-threatening, but we'll stay on top of the story and bring any news as it develops.
And a road closure will impact your morning commute. This is another one, in addition to the old bridge we've been talking about for a couple of days.
It's kind of the theme this week.
It is. Okay, so if you live in Loveland, this morning at 6 Riverside Drive from West Loveland to Twitewee.
I saw that.
Is that
I'm sorry,
it?
I forgot to. I don't know how you
Twitewee? We're going to go with that. Anyway, if you live there, you know where it is, but it's going to close for repairs along the railroad tracks there. But it'll be open this afternoon at 4. Jacqueline?
All right, and of course, we're talking about those lane closures on the Brent Spence this morning. So 71, 75 traffic rolling right on by there on that lower deck of the Brent Spence like it typically is at this hour. So really, 5:45 is when we see those things start to heat up there over the bridge. So if you're up early with us and getting out the door right now, you're not going to see any issues out there. And our big board, it's really just that road closure in Loveland other than the Brent Spence construction. So we'll check back in on those drive times in just a moment.
Well, the man accused of stabbing an officer at an airport in Flint, Michigan will be in court today to learn if he'll stay in custody. It's unlikely that Amor Fatoui actually will be granted bond because he's facing a charge of serious that he lives outside the U.S. So police say that he yelled Arabic phrase for God is great before he stabbed the officer, Jeff Neville, a little more than a week ago.
This morning, there are new victims in the massive cyber attack that's now sweeping the globe.
The attack actually freezes computers, then demands ransom to unlock it. Now, the U.S. pharmaceutical company Merck and Oreo cookie maker, the Oreo cookie maker as well, also impacted by these. They're victims. Experts think the attackers used leaked NSA spy tools and are convinced that the attack came from North Korea. They haven't found a kill switch yet, but they did identify a way to prevent the virus from taking over.
Let's take a look outside. Why don't we? Downtown Cincinnati at 4:29. We are sitting at 55 degrees. So another mild start. We'll get your weather forecast and all the news of the day. Good Morning Tri-State at 4:30 starts right now.
9 on your side starts now.
New developments in the case against Ray Tenzing, what his attorneys are asking for, and how it could impact the future attempts to prosecute the former UC police officer.
FC Cincinnati takes the pitch tonight in the U.S. Open Cup. If you don't have a ticket yet, you may have to watch the match on TV.
And on the run in Middletown, who police are looking for in connection to a fatal crash. Good morning, Tri-State. Some of the stories we're following at this 4:30 half hour right now. I'm Chris Riva.
I'm Catherine Nero. We mentioned the 55-degree start, and it made for a pretty exciting afternoon yesterday to get outside. Beautiful to look at and great to be in, Jennifer. And hearing from a lot of the runner friends out there, this made a big difference in, you don't want to go out until you get out there. Yes. Lack of humidity, things looked good.
And it seems like everyone was trying to get outside yesterday. You've got another great opportunity today, though, as well. 55 degrees out the door. We're still cooling as we're seeing actually clear conditions, not a even passing cloud out there early this morning. We'll warm up, though, a bit more today. By lunch, we're at 74. That's yesterday's high. And then we end up at 81, but we're still lacking whenever it comes to humidity, which is great when it comes to comfort for one last day. And something else going on, you guys mentioned FC Cincinnati playing tonight. Game's at 8. The temperature will be at 78 at the start. What a night to be out there at Nippert. At least the forecast is going to be perfect. Now, Jacqueline, the traffic getting to Nippert may be a different story.
Yeah, that might be a little touch and go, but hey, the traffic this morning, it's nice and clear right now as of 4:31. So this is 71-75 right back at Kyle's. And for the peak morning travel time, this is also a big problem spot for us because of the Brent Spence lane closures. But as of right now, that northbound traffic on the left-hand side of your screen, it's flowing smoothly in our drive time between Florence and downtown. We're in the green. Really, all drive times across the board are looking good. So everything is good right now, but of course, we'll continue to monitor that problematic commute for you from Florence into downtown. But as of right now, we're in the green.
The benefits of waking up at 4:30, I guess. Attorneys for former University of Cincinnati police officer Ray Tensing want the case against him dropped. They have filed a motion for acquittal, and if the judge grants that motion, the state cannot try Tensing a third time. Tensing shot and killed Sam DuBose during a traffic stop at near UC almost 2 years ago.
Now, a demonstration is calling for another trial. Now, will be held tonight at UC's campus.
9 on Your Side reporter TJ Parker has more.
We're in the CCM Circle where demonstrators are expected to meet later today. Area businesses say they're not too concerned, but they will keep an eye on things.
As business bustles in Clifton, just steps away from the shops and restaurants on Calhoun, there will be a planned demonstration for Sam DuBose.
We'll definitely keep an eye on it.
Assistant manager at Keystone, Amanda Dew, has followed the Tensing trial. She's hoping the demonstration will be peaceful.
I've watched the trial a little bit. I'm just hoping everybody stays safe. I don't want any issues, problems to happen.
Max Kalanke is a bartender at the St. Clair. He knows to expect a large crowd, especially with the FC Cincinnati game against the Chicago Fire.
If anything, it could affect people going to the game, just because I know it's going to be over by the stadium.
Sam DuBose's mother, Audrey DuBose, is also asking for a peaceful demonstration, but says she appreciates those planning on going.
I say thank you. I say I love them people. They are righteous people. They are standing up for righteousness.
Back in Clifton, businesses don't expect to be impacted too much by demonstrators, but they will be watching.
It was a concern when it first started, so just the safety of customers and employees and everyone in the area, honestly.
Now, Cincinnati police have said they will respect people's rights to protest peacefully. That FC Cincinnati game, by the way, starts at 8. Reporting in Clifton, I'm TJ Parker, 9 on Your Side.
So TJ mentioned there the demonstration is going to be going on not only at the same time as FC Cincinnati, but right next door to Nippert Stadium. FCC will play Chicago Fire in the round of 16 in the U.S. Open Cup. Of course, the Chicago Fire is an MLS team. The president and general manager of FC Cincinnati, Jeff Birding, expects a sold-out crowd.
Our folks are going to express their right to want to come in and have a great moment collectively as a city. And to put our city once again in a great purpose on a national stage.
ESPN2 will broadcast the game.
The Deuce.
It starts at 8. Here's the deal, though.
Okay.
College World Series ended last night, so ESPN1 is open. There is a small possibility it can move to the main channel. We're going to keep you up to date on that. All right, so before that, you can join us here at 9 on Your Side for a pregame show. It's called The Quest for the Cup. The 9 on Your Side sports team will have live coverage from Nippert starting at 7:30. That shows 7:30 to 8 o'clock right here on 9 on Your Side. Happening right now, police are looking for the man now charged in the death of a woman on New Year's Day in Middletown. 22-year-old Deshaun Rippey is accused of driving away from police and crashing into St. John's Church there. Mariama Maria Ricklin was riding in the car. She was killed in that crash. Rippey was driving off from the 513 lounge after there was a report of shots being fired. Another woman, Teresa Shields, was shot sitting in her car. Her death remains unsolved.
Well, sticking to his guns, Ohio Senator Rob Portman says that he isn't sold on the Senate's GOP health care bill. And this morning, he is facing pressure for his choice. Ohio Governor John Kasich says he urged Portman not to support it. Kasich says proposed Medicaid cuts are not acceptable, and Kentucky Senator Rand Paul has been against the bill since the beginning. But Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell believes that good progress is being made to get that bill passed. Now, President Donald Trump met with top Republicans at the White House to strategize about getting the votes needed. Now, the Kentucky Republican said the party needs more time to rally the troops. It likely will not be voted on until after the recess.
My suspicion is that any negotiation with the Democrats would include none of the reforms that we would like to make, both on the market side and the Medicaid side. So for all of those reasons, we need to come up with a solution. The American people elected us to do that, and we're working hard to get there.
Taking a little more time, that vote on the GOP's health care plan has been pushed back. It won't happen until after July 4th. Jennifer.
Heat and humidity are both building as we head into the July 4th holiday, and it all starts honestly later tonight as that cold front out to the west makes its way closer to the Ohio Valley. Now today alone, we're finally kind of dipping into more of the heat. Not the sticky factor yet. Highs today increase to the low 80s, maybe a little bit better forecast to head out to the pool. But with heat and humidity come storm chances. Timing it out ahead.
A new type of flu vaccine uses dozens of needles, but it's less painful than the normal shot. We'll explain how it works.
Plus, why a man already sentenced to 11 years in prison for setting his ex-girlfriend on fire could soon be facing murder charges.
9 on your side starts now.
And good morning, Tri-State. It is a 9/1 warning weather alert day, and we are tracking all sorts of activity across the Tri-State right now. We have team coverage. Jason Adams, Jennifer Ketchmark also in the house. Kristen Swilley is in the 9/1 warning live drive, checking out the roads.
So outside right now, we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning that came out, and it covers a lot of areas here, Jennifer, for Carroll, Switzerland, Gallatin, Ohio, southern Dearborn, and western Boone counties until 8:45 in anticipation of storms moving in.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tri-State. We're following severe weather throughout the area right now, including plenty of rain and lightning. 9 on your side's Kristen Swilley joins us live from Indiana, where that next round of storms is headed this morning. Kristen, Jennifer, and Jason were just talking about not only the lightning and the thunder, but also the rains causing some flooding out there and the winds now. What are you seeing out there?
Absolutely, and actually, Tamika, we just spun around from Indiana heading back towards town because we got breaking news of a tree down blocking traffic in East Price Hill. But I can tell you, sitting there at the state line for about half an hour or so, we did see some of that heavy rain start to pour in. Let's go and flip it around here so you can see what we're seeing on 74 eastbound heading back in. You probably can't tell it too much, but we do have some rain on our windshield here. There's a little bit of rain on the roadways. Again, heading to that breaking news, we were talking about the possibility of trees being down, of just the other concerns that a whole bunch of rain saturating the ground can leave us with this morning. So I can certainly tell you that the rain was starting to come down. We were out that way, but we are headed to this breaking news. Again, our assignment desk on top of it this morning pointing out this tree down on the roadway, really obstructing some traffic out there. So that is where we are headed at this moment. We're, of course, going to be relying on 9/1 warning meteorologist Jason Adams to keep us updated on conditions out there in Indiana. Jason.
Are looking at severe thunderstorm warnings now for most of southeast Indiana, including southeastern sections of Franklin County south, and then everybody south of southeastern Franklin County under a severe thunderstorm warning. We also have the warnings now extending into extreme western sections of Boone County, also western Hamilton, southwest Butler, and then Gallatin and Carroll counties here in northern Kentucky.